To thank you. Developing this morning, a local story is getting national headlines. Marion County Sheriff Billy Woods was live on the Fox News channel talking about the 3 teenagers who were shot and killed and the idea that a wannabe gang could be behind it. Sheriff Woods is joining us live now here on Good Day Orlando this morning. Good morning, Sheriff. It is always good to see you. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Danielle. Doing fine. Thank you.
Let me tell you something. This is such a bizarre and scary crime, right? And I think the phrase that you used was hybrid gangs. Can you explain what you mean by hybrid or wannabe gangs?
Yeah, a lot of people understand the better term neighborhood gangs, and we in law enforcement, when we say a gang, we're looking at a true structured, organized type gang. And usually gangs like a hybrid gang or a neighbor gang, they're not to that level. It's a group of individuals that come together. They don't have the hierarchy. They don't have the top bosses and working down through the structure of that organization. They're beginning at birth. And most of the time, neighborhood gangs consist of juveniles because they're young. They're looking for that family unit.
And so if that's the case, if they weren't really kind of an organized gang, you have to wonder, why were they all killed? I mean, all of these people, we know they were all friends, right? They were all found in different locations. What does that, Sheriff, tell you about the crime and perhaps the nature of why they were killed or who might have wanted to harm them?
That's part of what we're trying to figure out right now. We're trying to determine what led up to this. Why is it they did it? And we're getting tons of leads and tons of information, which is good. And our citizens and a lot of people out there are helping us out in anonymous tips. And yes, it's a concern of mine. What set this off? What were they doing? And when I get to know that, be assured that's when all communities do this, not just myself, but we'll address it and try to, one, educate our youth, and two, help them out and prevent any of this happening again.
I want to talk about education in just a moment. First, I do want to ask you, do you think that you're fairly close to making an arrest in this case? Are there any suspects that you may have in mind?
We have suspects. We have more than 2 suspects in mind, and we are getting closer and closer. Listen, it's killing me not to be able to, and I know your viewers and people are out there wanting a whole lot of information. They're wanting to know more. But here's the thing that everybody's got to understand: the integrity of the investigation and the integrity of the case. Because our responsibility is ensuring, one, not only justice is brought, but ensuring that the victims' families get closure in this. And putting every piece of the puzzle together, connecting every dot in the case is essential to ensuring that when it does go to court, that we have a solid case so that they do be put in prison for as long for the crime in which they committed.
I can only imagine what those families must be going through this morning. I do want to talk a little bit about the idea of a serial killer, because that had been floated around, right? And I know that you all don't like to take anything off the table until it's absolutely been ruled out. But could that also be the case here, or has that been just completely ruled out?
No, and that's completely ruled out. And I'll tell you this, because I have been able to release a few things. Last night, I was told that we can talk about the evidence that we've collected. We have cell phones, several cell phones, cell phone data, DNA from the vehicle, latent prints from the vehicle. Now, here's the key. Yesterday, I put out a picture of the victim's vehicle and gave a timeline for anybody in that timeline to come in. Combined, here's the other evidence in which we have. We have surveillance video depicting the victim's vehicle just prior to the incident and a few moments afterwards. Now, in between there, the first caller that came in, when the first call came in, that witness heard gunshots and then saw the vehicle slowly roll and strike to the dumpster. So what we need people's help out here is anybody that saw anything during that time frame. So I told you about the videos. I told you about the witness, because the vehicle drove off and you know that the first victim's body was at the dumpster. So we can only preclude that the suspects at that time fled the scene in the victim's vehicle.
Very good information there, and certainly if somebody knows something, as always, you always ask that they come forward. And another conversation I want to have with you at another time is just about how to prevent this from happening, how to prevent these kids from getting into these, quote, wannabe gangs in the first place. So that's a conversation we'd love to have you back to talk about, Sheriff. But in the meantime, best of luck in finding out whoever did this, and I know you will.
Thank you, Danielle.